Good morning. Just a quick service announcement before we get started. Just make sure our phones are on silent and put away, and that we have your full attention for the duration of the ceremony. But let's give yourselves and all of our faculty a big round of applause. Students and colleagues, once again, I have the privilege of standing before you, welcoming you to another exciting year at Cushing Academy. I forgot the please be seated part. Today marks the beginning of my 5th year at Cushing. 4 years ago at Convocation, I was a new member of this community, looking forward to what the future held. I was filled with optimism based on everything I had heard, but still eagerly awaiting to experience it firsthand. And now I have. Being your head of school is a great honor, a rare opportunity to see up close what can be accomplished at the intersection of talent, passion, and values. Speaking to you today, I am just as excited as I was back then, because I now know everything we're capable of achieving. I promise you that this year will be another meaningful one, filled with new beginnings and opportunities. In just a few moments, you will hear from Ms. Emily Roller, Director of College Counseling, and our student body co-presidents, Edison Chen and Marvin Musimi Kamali, with their thoughts about the year ahead. But before we begin, I would like to introduce our new members of the faculty and staff. As they are announced, please hold your applause until the end. I would like to ask those being introduced, when your name is called, please stand and remain standing until everyone is introduced. Lindsay Banish, Academic Support, Grenier House. You can hold it till the end, you can do it. Melissa Call, Counseling. Talia Delangelo, Science, Alumni Hall. Shannon Murray, Science, Alumni Hall. Ann Nelson, Latin. Pete Nelson, Academic Support. Laura Robusto, Math, Carlisle Hall. Francois Choi, French, Hancock Hall. Natalie Wilson, Admissions, Athletics, Alumni Hall. And not with us today are David Pearson, who will teach math and live in Price Hall, and Andrew Corbin, Head Coach, Varsity Girls Soccer. Please give them a big round of applause. Please be seated. I would now like to introduce our faculty speaker this morning, Ms. Emily Roller, Director of College Counseling.
Thank you, Dr. Barton. Good morning to faculty, staff, administration, and students, returning and new, and welcome to today's Convocation. As Cushing's Director of College Counseling, much of my work during the year focuses on the future rather than the present. It is exciting, therefore, to be part of today's ceremony, where the focus is on the sense of energy, optimism, anticipation, and even some healthy nervousness that accompany the beginning of a new school year. Today offers the opportunity to reflect on how we can grow, both individually and as a community, over the next 9 months. In addition to celebrating 157 years since Cushing's founding in 1865, 2022 also marks the 50th anniversary of one of the most important modern-day pieces of legislation passed by the U.S. Congress. On June 23, 1972, President Richard Nixon signed into law a statute known as Title IX that would revolutionize educational opportunities for women in the United States. Although Title IX has affected equality for women in a number of areas, its most notable impact has been in sports. From the time I could walk, I have loved being an athlete, and specifically a basketball player. I am grateful for the world of competitive sports, and more importantly, for the lessons I have learned through my athletic experience that far transcend the hardwood. Please note that the ideas I would like to share with you this morning are neither gender-specific nor limited to the world of sports. Rather, I would like to use Title IX and the opportunities it has afforded me as a metaphor for the possibilities available to each of us as members of the Cushing community to make the upcoming year one of the best in our already exceptional history. Opportunities to be part of a team abound at Cushing, in the classroom, on the performing arts stage, in the art studio, as part of student government, in student-sponsored clubs, social activism groups, and yes, in the athletic arena. I hope that sharing the lessons I have learned from being part of a team will inspire you to make the most of whatever team you are a part of this year. Lesson 1, show up. I have come to realize that opportunities for moments of greatness, growth, and gratitude begin with the simple act of being present. It's in the showing up, the trying, where the good stuff happens. In basketball jargon, you can't score if you don't shoot. Showing up represents the willingness to take a risk, to try something new, to redefine your role when situations change, and to accept failure as part of the learning curve. You don't need titles like lead or star to experience the joy that comes with showing up. In fact, I have learned success frequently is found in unexpected places and understated roles. In whatever idea you might have about something you would like to do this year, take that first step, show up, and give yourself the chance to see what happens next. There is another aspect of showing up that is a little more subtle. One of the greatest lessons athletics has taught me is you cannot create successful teams or positive communities without accountability, both personal and collective. Showing up means not only showing up for yourself, but also showing up for others. Words matter. Assumptions are dangerous. Listening is powerful. If you know you've wronged somebody, apologize. If you don't know something about a person, a culture, a holiday, or ritual, ask questions and learn. Accountability creates trust. Trust leads to safety, and it's safety that allows each of us to show up as the most authentic version of ourselves. Lesson 2, look up. The number one priority for any point guard in basketball is to see the floor. You need to look up in order to evaluate the bigger picture, to keep the focus on what truly matters, and to adjust the game plan when necessary. This year, look up. See the people around you as both individuals and part of a bigger whole with the shared desires and goals to be part of a supportive and positive community. Look around you, past the obvious or the superficial, and see the energy and ideas that create the life of our community. Recognize individual strengths, including your own, and play to them. Recognize weaknesses, including your own, and compensate for them. Empower others to shine whenever and wherever possible. Teams don't win alone. Success is not solitary. In the end, the goal is to make the whole bigger than the sum of its parts. One cautionary note about looking up. We all have role models we look up to, successful people whose qualities we wish to emulate. Looking up to them is not the same, however, as wishing to be them. Make sure that in emulating others, you do not lose your own sense of self. Look up, but also look in. Trust in who you are, even as you look for opportunities to discover who you may become. Lesson 3, stand up. Stand up in those moments when you are knocked down, figuratively or literally. Be willing to try again. One of my other favorite quotes from my time as an athlete is fail forward. There's nothing wrong about falling short if lessons are learned that inform future actions and decisions. Moreover, when you are down, don't be afraid to seek support. It's okay to be vulnerable. Friends, classmates, castmates, teammates, advisors, teachers, dorm parents, counselors. Cushing is replete with people who want nothing more than to stand with you and help you succeed. If there are moments when the load is too heavy to carry on your own, let others take some of the weight for a while. Standing up also means sometimes being willing to take a stand. In basketball, it's often the point guard's voice that provides the confidence a team needs to keep things moving forward. There are opportunities for everyone to be a point guard in our community. I encourage each of you this year to seek out places to make your voice heard. Have the courage to step into difficult conversations, be unafraid to speak about issues that matter to you, champion causes that excite you, and look for paths of action that will support and make a difference for others. And remember that the most powerful voice in the room isn't always the loudest. There are often small, quiet moments each day where your words can have a significant impact. In each of your endeavors this year, if you will show up, look up, and stand up, our community will be a place where individuals can thrive as curious, creative, and confident learners and leaders. I've spent a fair amount of time lately thinking about who I would, or more likely, would not be if it weren't for the passage of Title IX. How different would my life look, and what opportunities might I have missed out on? A lot has changed since Title IX was enacted 50 years ago. No doubt, significant progress has been made. Yet, there is still much left to accomplish. I am grateful to stand on the shoulders of the pioneers that paved the way for me, and I remain mindful of how recent much of this history is. As you begin your journey this year, I hope you will keep Title IX in mind, insomuch as you keep equity for all groups, always at the forefront of your thoughts and actions. I hope you will commit to the hard work involved to make Cushing a school where everyone, regardless of what you look like, where you're from, who you love, how much money you have, or how you identify, has a seat at the table. In closing, I would like to offer one final thought, taken from a speech I heard in an assembly much like this at the school where I grew up. In his commencement address, author and speaker George Plimpton referenced another incredibly important document in U.S. history. In 1776, the writers of the Declaration of Independence stated that among our inalienable rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Plimpton argued that the Founding Fathers got the ending wrong. The right shouldn't be the pursuit of happiness, but rather the happiness of pursuit. The simple play on words has remained a constant guide in my life. In whatever we do, whatever path we choose to follow, whatever definition of success we seek, we will find our greatest fulfillment if we focus on the journey rather than the destination. My wish for each of you, and all of us collectively, is that we will lead with optimism and make optimal use this year of the opportunities to be found at Cushing to experience the happiness of pursuit. Here's to first steps and new beginnings. Thank you. Roll pens.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Guanyu Chen, and you can call me Edison. I'm a four-year senior from Suzhou, China. To Dr. Burton, members of Cushing faculty, staff, and the entire 2022-2023 student body, Marvin and I are honored to represent the student body at the start of student participation in this new school year. Convocation represents the first look of a new Penguin Nation, and the all-school handshake is a symbol of our unity over the next 9 months. 3 years ago, I boarded the flight to Boston with a few heavy suitcases and an acceptance letter from Cushing, hoping to pursue a high school in this country where I was an outsider. Little did I know that I would spend all but 2 months of the next 3 years in the States, and that a large chunk of my high school experience would be about endless Zoom meetings, COVID PCR tests, expectations on whether we would be able to celebrate the school traditions. However, I'm grateful for these experiences. We encounter challenges that most people in the world were not facing at such a young age. That's how we learned that the ability to adapt to challenging situations is a key to success during times of hardship. I remember the time I struggled with Calculus BC. I had to remake myself to close the loopholes I had. I went to discuss problems with my classmates after class and took all the help available from my teacher, Mr. Shablaika. Whatever difficulty there was with the class, we worked through it. Whatever hardships seemed to back us off, we stayed with it. Students have various problems, but those who persevered won the day. While we start the year with optimism, our preparedness for the unknown challenges is what will attest to the strengths of Cushing. COVID taught us to get ready for the impossible, and it is your mental toughness and self-belief that will guide you and your friends through challenging times. This spirit of penguin persistence will always be accompanied by wonderful friendships and help from everyone that's sitting next to you today. When I was new here, I was a little too shy to reach out to people I didn't know. Later, I found out that there isn't a person on campus who wouldn't accept you unless you don't ask. Collaboration takes place daily, from a biology project to a volleyball practice to a musical rehearsal. Opportunities to work together exist in and out of the classroom, and the surprising combination with your fellow penguins can establish friendships for years to come. After all, I learned that how we can overcome difficulties if we just hold each other's hands and take that leap. In the past year, students worked closely with each other and faculty members to move the operation of the campus back to normalcy. Thankfully, visible progress has been made. Now it is time to do our part. Students that came before us took first steps, and now it is our chance to take even larger strides. To the seniors, cherish every moment before we say goodbye to each other at graduation. To all of you, I feel fortunate to have you on my side during this incredible journey. May the portraits of our graduates guide us through this chapter of our lives, and may the alma mater echo through the town of Ashburnham. And let's all rejoice that the Penguin Nation is back. Thank you and have a great year.
Thank you, Edison. Hello, everybody. For people who don't know me, my name is Marvin Masima Kamali. I'm a two-year senior from Brockton, Massachusetts. I'm so happy to be back on campus with all of you. I can already tell this is going to be a special year as we can focus on building up our community and getting back to some of the older traditions that I'm sure we've all missed. It is also important to build for the future and leave an impact on the Cushing community by creating new traditions. We all come from different parts of the world, but we're drawn to Cushing for many different reasons. A little bit over 2 years ago, I'd heard of Cushing Academy, but I didn't even know Ashburnham was a town in Massachusetts. After only 1 year here, I realized that the small town of Ashburnham is a special place. People here genuinely care about you, your journey, and your personal growth. We are so lucky to be surrounded by an amazing faculty that wants to create a safe space for us to all grow, prosper, and feel included while doing so. With the help of the people around me, Cushing has helped me to become a better leader, better communicator, and allowed me to be the man I am today. I'm certain that we all have plenty of personal goals this year, whether it is get all A's in the classroom, bring a championship home to Cushing, or simply to mature and grow as a person. This all starts with community. Be there for your peers and support everybody on their own unique and individual journey. Be respectful and compassionate to everybody around you. That way we can promote an environment where everybody can feel included and express themselves freely. Help be the change you want to see and help make Cushing a better place every single day. For the new students, the best advice I can give you is to be vulnerable. Be vulnerable to the people around you. Engage yourself in the community and the beauty it has to offer. Be vulnerable in the classroom and share your thoughts, because your input is always valued. For the underclassmen and juniors, I hope you can be the next evolution of Cushing, because it's not about pre-COVID or post-COVID anymore. It is about building a better school, community, and traditions for the next evolution of penguins. For the class of 2023, live every day with intent. I'm sure you've heard from your friends about how fast a year goes by. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts. Remember that your actions have an impact on everybody around you. Here at Cushing, we strive for everybody to become curious, creative, and confident learners and leaders, as Ms. Roller mentioned earlier. So let's set a good example for everybody around us. Lastly, for everybody, enjoy your high school years and build a story that you can all be proud of. These years only come once in a lifetime. Don't let them pass by. I wish you all a wonderful first day of classes and an amazing school year. Let's go Penguins.
Thank you, Ms. Roller. Edison and Marvin, let's give them another big round of applause for their remarks. As we begin this year, it is time to pause, focus, and reflect on who we are. Our shared identity and community enable everything else we do. Taking the time to understand where we are, how we got here, and where we're headed is crucial to accomplishing our mission. First, we must acknowledge the great storm we have all weathered over the last several years, the pandemic. I am proud of how this community worked together to keep everyone safe and connected during that challenging time, and now we have the opportunity to build on that connection to fully reestablish our community with a sense of normalcy. And as we do so, it is essential that we purposefully and intentionally reset. We need to start rebuilding from the strongest foundation possible, rather than try to hastily recreate the Cushing culture and experience simply from our fond memories. For us to thrive, Cushing must evolve from the place we left behind, both inside and out, from the ground up. Unfortunately, there's no button we can simply push to do this. Our community and culture doesn't just happen. It takes the careful coordination, dedicated work, and devoted passion of everyone in this room today. It takes a shared effort toward a singular, uncompromising vision of who we are, what we stand for, and what we aspire to be. And that is why I'd like to revisit our Portrait of a Graduate this morning. For those of you unfamiliar with the Portrait of the Graduate, it proposes that all Cushing students, indeed all members of our community, are on four distinct but connected journeys: a personal journey, a community journey, an intellectual journey, and an ethical journey. Each journey serves as a lens in which we can examine ourselves, our relationships, our work, and our purpose. Together, they form a framework that guides and informs all aspects of school life, supporting Cushing's values of nurturing the mind, character, creativity, and well-being of everyone who matriculates here. And they paint a vision of what a Cushing graduate will have experienced and learned while a student here. The Portrait of a Graduate necessitates that we learn, live, and lead by the following commitments in our four journeys. The first, in my personal journey, I strive to be self-aware, self-disciplined, and self-controlled, to take initiative, adapt, and persevere, to live with optimism, passion, a sense of humor, and humility, to make informed choices for a healthy, balanced life, to advocate for myself, and to pursue excellence in all areas of my life. Second, in my community journey, I endeavor to respect, support, and show gratitude, to value, engage fully in, and contribute to the diversity of my communities, to collaborate with others, to understand social systems, and to serve others as an active citizen. Third, my intellectual journey, I aspire to think critically, creatively, and reflectively, to listen and communicate actively, thoughtfully, and effectively, to take risks and grow through challenges, and to approach lifelong learning with openness and curiosity. And finally, in my ethical journey, I pledge to act with empathy and compassion, to act with integrity, to act with personal and social responsibility, and act with courage on behalf of myself and others. These journeys form the basis of everything we build here at Cushing. If we ensure our culture is rooted in this framework and these ideals, we secure not just a successful school year, but a bright future. And that takes us back to where we are now, and the challenge that lies before us, rebuilding our community. Each school year, we must start with ourselves. As Marvin said, be vulnerable and examine where we are on our personal journeys. Everyone has just transitioned from summer mode to school mode. You're moving from your jobs, camps, vacations, home schedules, back to a rigorous schedule of academics, arts, athletics, and activities. Rapid change can be jarring and difficult. Coupled with the added residual stress from the pandemic, that could make these first few weeks a challenge. And I would ask you, are you meeting this challenge with initiative, adaptability, and perseverance? Are you approaching this new year with optimism, passion, humor, and humility? Are you ready to pursue excellence? Truly reflect on these questions. The answer won't always be yes, and that's okay. But if it's not, recognize that it is your duty to summon the internal strength and external support you need to continue progressing on your personal journey. Moving on to our relationships with others, we reflect where we are on our community journey. The pandemic has had a disparate level of impact on the members of our community. Some missed out on reaching important milestones, others struggled with isolation, others lost loved ones, others experienced the pandemic in a variety of environments. How are you taking care of your community in light of these realities? Are you showing respect, support, and gratitude on a daily basis? Are you serving Cushing as a good citizen? These questions remind us to enter the school year with even more kindness, compassion, and generosity, to be good to one another. For those of you returning, remember the challenges and struggles of your first few weeks here. Remember your nervousness and excitement, and empathize with those now just beginning their lives at Cushing. Reach out to them. Be the person that was there for you, or you wish had been there for you when you first started at Cushing. Anything short of that is a misstep on your community journey. Moving beyond community, let's focus on our minds and our intellectual journey. Remember, this journey is not primarily concerned with your academic success. It is about the way you think and that you approach solutions to complex problems. I guarantee that you will struggle through unique intellectual challenges here at Cushing, both inside and outside of the classroom. Foremost, we must remember that our community is extremely diverse. We come from different cities and countries, cultures and belief systems. Your ways of thinking and seeing the world, they'll be challenged. How will you respond? Will you think critically, creatively, and respectfully? Will you communicate actively, thoughtfully, and effectively? Will you listen? Will you use it as an opportunity to be open, curious, and advance your lifelong learning? The affirmative answers to these questions are fundamental to your growth and the strength of our community. It is your obligation to seek out viewpoints in opposition to your own and truly consider them, to start conversations with people you don't normally speak to broaden your perspective, using our community for your growth. That is the joy and burden of the intellectual journey, seeking truth and expanding your minds, regardless of the discomfort you might feel. Finally, we must reflect on our ethical journeys and our pursuit of what is right. In all aspects of life, you will have to choose between hard rights and easy wrongs. It will be no different this school year. Doing the right thing can sometimes be very difficult. At Cushing, we ask for excellence, and you'll balance a full course load, sports, clubs, arts, social activities. This can be extremely stressful. You might be tempted to take shortcuts or ease the challenge. You might have an impulsive thought to violate the expectations of our community. Every time you find yourself on a path that might not be aligned with our values, you must ask yourself, am I acting with empathy, compassion, and integrity? Am I being personally and socially responsible? Am I acting with courage? If the answer is no, you need to quickly right your path. Many times, falling on your ethical journey is harder to recover from than from the other ones, for it is the foundation of your character. Your ethical journey can in some ways be the loneliest of the journeys, because you're often the only witness. Despite the lack of observers, this journey is the most important one. Thank you for taking the time to truly reflect on the portrait of the graduate, your 4 journeys, and how that translates your everyday life and the decisions you will make this year. And as we start this year and improve our community together, I ask you to take your passion and commitment and channel it fully into your 4 connected journeys. By staying true to this path, you can give the most to Cushing, and Cushing can give the most back to you. Use the portrait of a graduate as a real framework to better yourself on a daily basis. This will further translate to your everyday actions. It will mean taking that extra 20 minutes to meet someone new, look around the dining hall to make sure no one is eating alone, challenging yourself with a new experience, and putting in that extra effort to achieve excellence. It will make our community kinder and more dedicated to each other. The portrait of a graduate will inspire you to take advantage of every minute that you are here and to take personal responsibility for your own success. It will help guide you through many challenges and obstacles that lie in the years ahead. If you live it, it will become part of your identity and pay dividends for the rest of your life. Once each of you believes and lives by the portrait, we have the foundation for an incredible team. And that's really what Cushing is all about. Forming an all-star team of students and adults to tackle the challenges of learning, living, and playing together. As you know, the strongest teams consist of far more than great leaders. They require a collection of capable individuals. No leader alone makes a great team. The best leaders simply inspire and organize capable individuals into great teams with common purpose. In the same way, our faculty and staff alone are not the ones who make Cushing an amazing place to live and learn. You do. We simply channel your deep commitment, love, and talent, which can be further honed as you move along the 4 journeys. This school is filled with some of the country's greatest athletic, academic, artistic, and organizational aptitudes. Cushing is committed to bringing all this raw potential together and to creating something, as Ms. Roller said, so much greater than the sum of its parts. Luckily, Cushing knows how to create extraordinary teams, and by extension, extraordinary players. We succeed and struggle completely together, and as I have said before, for good or bad, we are at each other's mercy. None of us is perfect. We recognize that we will stumble, but we will learn and grow from these mistakes, and when we succeed, we will not only revel in victory, but we will dedicate ourselves to pursuing greater excellence, leading to a brighter future for us all. Part of that future will involve you being on Drew Common in the center of campus, regaled in your graduation robes. My greatest hope is on that day, you will acknowledge and cherish the friends, family members, and mentors who supported you on your path. And you will recognize that you stand on the shoulders of all who have made sacrifices to pave the path that is ahead of you. Keeping the portrait of a graduate fresh in your mind, the journeys will serve you well at Cushing and beyond, continuing into the next stages of your life as you pursue a future true to your deepest callings. I wish you all a great year and success on your journeys. Thank you. I would now like to invite Mr. Buggy to the stage for a brief announcement.
Good morning, Penguins. How are you doing? So I'm listening to everything that was said today, and it's absolutely wonderful. And so I've asked myself, what could we do as a community? So one of the most important things I think about is dignity and respect. And they are crucial to building and sustaining an environment in which everyone feels included, valued, and appreciated. With that, today we will start the Dignity and Respect campaign. Here's how it works. Every day, we have the opportunity to test our commitment to dignity and respect through our behavior. The 30 tips of dignity and respect encourage each of us to be mindful of our interactions and to commit to treating others the way they want to be treated. The 30 tips are everyday behaviors that demonstrate your commitment to treating everyone with dignity and respect. Today, we will begin with start with you. Reflect on how you see others and how others see you. You will look every day, there will be an email with a tip. Every academic day, you will see us on social media. They'll be on the monitors around school. Your first group of teachers will have you reflect on this, and at the end of the week at Assembly, we'll ask a few of you to come up and talk about how that was for this week. This will end right before Fall and Family Weekend, and the following week it'll culminate into a wonderful performance by a slam poet named Andre Bradford. So I thank you very much, and today starts with you. Thank you.
As Edison said, Penguin Nation's back, right? Let's give all of our speakers a big round of applause. Please rise.